as you come in, and we will start. All right, welcome, Dr. Omole. Thank you so much for agreeing to come back again for this first, second phase of starting business and owning wealth during COVID and after COVID, right? And so,
Yes.
where do we begin? I mean, can you recap some of the things that we talked about the last time? Recap, how to make wealth just doing little things in your within your own environment. Can you recap what you said a little bit? And before we move on to this next topic.
Well, I mean, I can, I mean, not to save our time. I mean, what we looked at last time was how little things can add to much in terms of changing habits, things that, everyday action that can lead to wealth. We looked at, your spending habits. We looked at using insurance sensibly. We
Yeah,
looked at, how to make sure get the best bargain in terms of pricing. We looked at how to spend within your means, so to speak. The
absolutely.
little things, that can change of habits here and there that can add up to, we looked at how not to incur needless penalty and fines.
Hmm.
I think some people in places like Nigeria might not understand how important that is. But in
Yeah,
the West, I know people who spend hundreds of pounds every month paying penalties and fines that
absolutely.
are completely avoidable. You parked in the wrong place in central London, they give you a ticket, £100. You park in the wrong place, and before you know it all adds up, and how,
Absolutely.
all those things adds up to, getting wealth. Now, I think what we're looking at today seems to be a natural transition to it
Yes.
because the truth is, nobody that is wealthy today is wealthy purely because they're on salary.
Dr. Murray, just before you start, let me just say it again. Once you come in, please turn off your videos. Thank you very much. Turn off your videos. Thanks. Go ahead.
Yes, I mean, nobody that is truly wealthy today is wealthy because they are earning salary. And sadly, especially in the developing world, the bog standard education system seems to have primed people to spend their life acquiring skills and certificates only to be seeking job or employment from somebody. And if we look at it, those who are truly wealthy, they are people who created wealth rather than waiting for salary at the end of the month. So what I want us to look at today in terms of creating how to generate business ideas, I want you to look at it. I want everyone listening to look at it from two perspectives. Number one is for those who feel they are called into entrepreneurship. What we are going to look at today will help you to determine which areas, how to start business. And I can guarantee you, if you listen very well to what we're going to share tonight, at the end of this session, you will have a new business idea. It's guaranteed. If you listen intent and you take note, you will have a business idea. Because the business ideas have been all around you all this while, you've just been blind to it. So all I'm going to do today is just open your eyes a little bit to the opportunities that already exist around you that you've not really considered as opportunities. So the first category, therefore, are those who feel they are called into entrepreneurship. The second category is those who feel, okay, I'm more of a salaried, salary person at the end of the month, but understand that given what COVID has revealed, is the fact that I need multiple streams of income, so to speak.
Absolutely.
There's a magazine called Financial Nigeria that I write for. My column for next month is the third part of a 3 series that I started 3 months ago, looking at the structural shift that COVID has caused in businesses, in governments, and then the next month, August version, I'll be dealing with the structural change in individuals. And one of the things I was saying is that I say, especially in the developing world, because some of these things, those who live in the developed world might not fully appreciate it, is the fact that in the developing world, there are lots of people who are salaried staff and during the lockdown were not paid by the employer. They were not paid by the employer. There was no government palliative, nothing. And they were just left high and dry. And that's happened in several African countries. So what do you do? And I would say one of the structural shifts that COVID will bring in individuals is the need for them to have other streams of income in addition to their salary. So this, what we are going to look at in terms of how to generate business ideas will also work for you if you want to keep doing your salary job, but want to have something in addition to that to bring in, streams of income. Now, if we're talking about multiple streams of income, we know streams come in different sizes and in different forms. Some streams, there are some rivers that if you go there, certain season of the year is dry, but then you come back and at another season the place is flooded.
Yes.
So which means some streams of income are seasonal. There's some business ideas, there's some businesses, for example, that only work better during summer. Some only work during Christmas. Some, if you're into ice cream business, clearly you won't do well when it's, -5 degrees outside. Whereas in the summer months, you do a lot more. Some are holiday related. So some streams, therefore, are not constantly flowing, is my point. They flow, stop, but that's the nature of the stream. Some streams do just a little drop on a daily basis. Little drop, and by the time you look at it at the end of the year, you have a big river. So some might not be a deluge, so to speak. They're just little things, that bring in, the $5 here, $10 there, $20 there, brings in those little on a daily basis. And before you know it, you have something tangible at the end of the year. And of course, some streams flow more constantly, depending on how it is. So I've said that for people to manage expectations, that this doesn't mean, now that you have multiple streams of income, it means you have a big money coming in on the daily basis. No, it will flow differently depending on what you are doing. The first thing we need to
hold on before you go to the thing. Question though, before you, let's make sure that people understand that. So are you saying that you need to then identify what type of stream it is? You need to know what kind of stream it is.
Well, the business idea will determine the stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you have a business idea, you should know what type of stream that business idea is.
Absolutely. Right. So you need to know, and that, for example, can inform your spending habits. For example, if you know that I'm doing AMPA business, so I'm going to make $10,000 over Christmas. Just as an example, then therefore, that you have a bit more buffer financially in that period, so you can manage your finances accordingly, so that maybe you put some expenditure towards that period when more will also come in for you. So knowing the nature of the stream can help to dictate and shape your activities and your planning. So the first thing I want to say is that ideas rule the world. If you look around us, everything we see was once an idea in somebody's head. There are many things that are real today that were not real yesterday because they were somebody else's idea.
Absolutely.
So reality is a product of ideas that have been acted upon. We need to understand that realities we face today are products of ideas that somebody acted upon. So I personally believe that everybody listening to me or are watching this, you are just one idea away from your breakthrough. You are just one idea away from your breakthrough. One idea can change everything for you. You don't need multiple, just one. So on a daily basis, a lot come to you, but you don't know that these are ideas that you need to act upon. So before I actually go into, yes.
Just one more thing. Just if you guys have questions, because I see somebody's hand is up. If you have any questions, type it into the chat box and we will take it later on. And Dr. Omole would respond to them. So we're just going to allow him to finish his presentation and then ask those questions, if that's okay. Thank you. All right.
All right. Now, what I want to share today is, for clarity, 12 ways to generate business ideas. That's what I want us to look at today. But before I do that, There's 7 foundational aspects to developing your business ideas that I think you need to understand. 7 questions you need to ask and answer. The first question is the what. What is a product or service that actually I want to? So you have to answer that question. The what question you have to ask and answer. The second question you have to answer is the why. Why? What is driving my business desire or choice of business? You need to be able to answer that clearly in your mind, because you need to understand that people, depending on the kind of business you go into, people buy into you before they buy into your service. So if you cannot answer the question why, I don't know whether you've ever come in contact with somebody where you could see passion oozing out of them for their business, for what they are trying to either sell to you or present to you. And even, their passion is so contagious that before you know, you bought the product or the service.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are able to answer the question why very well. You have to answer the why. You can't just be, oh, my neighbor is doing it, so me too, I'm doing it. That can't be your why. You've got to answer the why. And then, the third question you have to answer is the who. Who do I approach to help? Or who do I approach for mentoring? Who are my customers? So you need to answer the who question. The third question you need to ask, you can see that I'm speeding up because of time here. I just need to lay this foundation quickly. The fourth question you need to answer is the how. What mode of business should I start? Limited company, sole proprietorship, how do I initiate the business? The how, it's important because it's possible to do the right thing in the wrong way. And the how can be a function of so many things. It can be a function of the environment you are. For example, in a place like United Kingdom, and I'm sure in many parts of the US it's the same, you can go on your computer and in 5 minutes you can register a business and have the certificate emailed to you. So you can have your limited company in 5 minutes. But in some African countries like Nigeria, it could take weeks and lots of money to register a business. So in such an environment, you might want to start a sole proprietorship and not bother with the bureaucracy of limited company at the beginning. So, so you need to answer these things. It's going to depend on where you are. That will, inform your, so the how is important. Number 5, the fifth question you need to ask is the where. Where? Which location should I situate the business? Which state, which locality, which county, do I start from home? Do I need to get an office to start with? The where is important, and the answer to that will depend on so many things. The nature of the business, for example, will affect where you can, for example, if you are doing a business that involves 20, 30 people visiting you on a daily basis, most people find it difficult to start that kind of business from home. For example, but if it's a business where nobody needs to see you, it's online and whatever, you can do that from your garage, So the where is the fifth question. The sixth question is a when. When is the right time to start a business? This when, again, is related to, the discussions we had earlier about seasonal business, for example. The when matters. If you want to start a hamper business, clearly the when question has to mean you have to, promote that business around seasons where people exchange gifts, and outside of those seasons, you might not get much business. So the when matters, when is the right time to start it? When also could be determined by so many things in terms of, your family situation or your, if you want to do it as a second income stream, for example, to your salary, the when matters, in terms of, there might be, for example, there might be a period at work that is less busy, maybe 6 months of the year is less busy at work. Therefore, you will not be too tired when you get home. So that might be the period to actually do those business and not wait for the period that's so busy that you are completely tired when you get home, that trying to do something later on in the evening might not be advisable. Number 7, the 7th question is with whom? With whom?
That's good. I like that.
With whom? Do I partner to make a success of this business or do I go it alone? Do I have friends that can leverage their skills, their contact, their understanding of business, or do I do it by myself? So with whom matters. So those are the 7 questions: the what, the why, the who, the how, the where, the when, and then with whom. Now, if you've sorted those out, now let's now go into the 12 ways to generate business ideas. Number one, the first way to generate business idea. I'm going to read it out and then explain it. The first way is add value or additional benefit to an existing product and sell at the same price as the old or less. Let me say it again. Add value or additional benefit to an existing product and sell at the same price as the old or even less. Add value to an existing benefit, add value or additional benefit to an existing product. You see, you'll be amazed at how many people have been waiting for the added value that you've included in that product. You know, the idea that comes to mind, and some of you who are from Africa will, you know, we remember this very well if you're of a certain age. You know, I remember growing up in those days, you know, there used to be people who sell water, and they used to sell water carrying buckets on their head with water in it. And then they have this little bowl inside.
I don't remember that.
Eh?
I don't remember that.
No, you know, you are the posh ones. We lived in the village, don't worry. You know, you are the posh ones. So
please.
Anyway, but the point is, so when you want water, they will bring the bucket down and give you the bowl. You will drink the water and they put the bowl back to the next person. That's how they were selling water in those days, in motor parks and garages and all that. Now, after a while, we started selling water in nylon bags. The product is the same.
Yeah.
Same water in nylon bag. And then after a while, we have it in sachet. Then after a while, we have it in plastic bottles.
Yes.
After a while, we now have it in glass bottles. Now, it's the same product, but you are adding value to it. You are adding additional benefit to it, and you're now selling it. So while the one in nylon bag will sell for 20 cents, the one in plastic will sell for $1, the one in the bottle could sell for $2. But the important thing is the product is exactly the same product, but you are adding additional value. So you need to ask yourself, look at products and services around you. What can you add value to? What can you add additional benefit to and present as an additional product? So that's the first way to generate business idea. So you need to sit down and say, okay, now, you know, what are the things I see every day? You know, that I can add my own touch to it and then present it as an, you know, because of my added value, I can now sell it as a different as a different product. So that's the first way to generate business idea, add value or additional benefit to an existing product. The second way to generate business idea is take an ordinary product, strip it to its basic essence, and offer the substance of it at a very cheap price. Let me say it again. Take an ordinary product, then strip it to its basics, and offer the substance of it and sell at a very cheap price. Take an ordinary product,
island from China,
strip it,
tensions with Beijing,
strip it to its basic.
Part of its territory.
Oh, somebody's mic needs to be off.
Please turn off your videos and mute your buttons, please. Thank you.
Take an ordinary product, strip it to its basics, and offer the substance of it and sell at a cheap, you know, at a very cheap price. You know, a very good example of this is, you know, back in Europe in those days, you know, if you want to fly from London to Germany, it's a kind of 1.5 hour, 2 hour kind of flight. You know, you go by British Airways, they will serve you food, they will give you drink, they will do all that. But tickets were expensive. You know, so somebody came up and said, hold on a second, what is it that most people want to do? They want to get from point A to point B. So they strip the whole thing to its basics. So the basic is flying from point A to point B. That was how budget airlines started. They don't
Good.
offer food. They don't offer drink.
Yeah.
That all you are paying for is just a ticket. No frills. You know, in fact, in many of these for this no frills airline, when you get to the airport, you check yourself in, or you have done your check-in online. If you want to check in with the staff on the airport, they charge you. You know, so there's no so suddenly London to Frankfurt that was costing $200 became $20, $30 flight. So much so that today, a company called Ryanair, that's a budget airline, is the biggest airline now in the whole of Europe. And how do they do it? They sell their flights. I mean, you can get, there's so many people who buy Ryanair ticket for $19, $20.
So just sell the basics. Just offer the basics.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you could see that did not get the bigger airlines out of business because people still want to eat and do other things. They will pay for the extra. But for people, which majority of people, I will just, look, it's a 2-hour flight. I can do without eating for 2 hours. I will eat at the airport. I'll carry my own, or bring my own food or whatever. You know, don't give me food, don't give me drink. Just cut it into the basics.
Yes.
Which is getting to point A to point B. So you create a new industry entirely and then sell it at a cheaper price. So that is another way, you know, to generate business idea. So look for something that they're offering 10 things and there's okay, what is the actual basic people want for this service or this product? Okay, once we've identified what the basic is, can I do a business just focusing on the basic alone? Leave all the extras, leave them out. And then can I now sell it at a much cheaper price? If you can find a product or service like that, you have yourself a new business.
Excellent.
So that's the second way.
Yeah.
Number 3, the third way to generate business idea is add or remove packaging from an existing product or service. Add or remove packaging from an existing product or service. Add or remove packaging from an existing product or service. Ask yourself, what are the products out there that can generate a new market if packaged differently? You see, there are products that will become more functional if packaged differently. You know, I mean, for instance, you know, why most people, you know, like, you know, lovely looking laptops, you know, I remember, you know, reading about this guy who made multi-millions selling laptops to the military. Now, it's interesting, what did he do? He doesn't manufacture the laptop himself. So it could be IBM, it could be Dell, it could be any of the laptops out there. What he did was design this packaging that he made with recycled car tires. They are so rugged that if you drop those laptops from 10-story buildings, they will survive it. So he designed that packaging and he started selling it to military because military were finding out that laptops weren't surviving in the war fronts or in the desert where they were. You know, wind blows, sun enters the laptop, the whole thing messes up. So he created this rugged thing that the laptop is inside, but trust me, you know, the whole thing is ugly, but it's functional.
So when you repackage it, when you repackage it or when you remove the package or you add the package, you're not just doing it arbitrarily. You're going to make sure that it works for your the intended audience, right?
Absolutely. Because and the reason if you get this right for some products, as much as research has shown that as much as 30 to 35% of some products is packaging cost. So if you take packaging out, I mean, okay, if I use myself as an example, whenever I come to the US, one of the things I like doing is I like going to the outlet malls, you know, and I discovered this secret years ago, you know, the outlet malls, and they have these perfume shops there because I like fragrances. And I discovered this about 10 years ago and it's worked since. In those perfume stores, they have some perfumes that are in brown boxes, just text boxes, and they're willing to sell. So a perfume that should be $80, they say we'll give you for $40 because they're not giving you in the original packaging. I don't need the packaging. In fact, even if I buy, I don't need the packaging. In fact, if I even buy the original packaging, I tend to remove the packaging in my hotel anyway, because I don't want to bring it back here with packaging. Because if there's no packaging on it, there's no way the customs can know it's new. So they won't harass me to come and start paying some silly. Anyway, that's a different story. You know, so the point I'm making is, because I remove the packaging, they're selling it more cheaply. Whereas some people will pay the extra $40 just to have the smiley face on the packaging. Are you going to eat the smiley face? So ask yourself, what can you use packaging to present a new product for? That's the third way. Because of our time, number 4, the fourth way you can generate business ideas. Package is something made easy or a combination product.
Say that again.
Package is something made easy or a combination product. Package is something made easy or a combination product. You know, in those days, we used to have, I remember going out in those for business meetings, I would have a filofax, I will have a camera, I will have a phone, I will have a dictaphone. I even had a dictaphone in those days. Before, your suitcase is full of gadgets. Gradually, the market realized that they can create what I call combination product, which is, how do I combine different functionality into one product? So what is it out there that people that exist individually that I can combine to get a new product? So it's important. So what is it? So combination product. What can you combine? You know, so this could be in terms of service, it could be in terms of product, by something made easy. You know, one of the popular book series that has sold millions globally today is a book series called Idiot's Guide. Now, there's Idiot's Guide to practically everything. Now, if you go to Amazon and put Idiot's Guide, you will see thousands of books. Now, that is an example of something made easy. So, you know, they strip complicated topics to something very simple. You know, and that's why they call it Idiot's Guide, in such a way that even if you're an idiot, you understand this.
Yeah, or the dummy guide. They have the dummy guide. Yeah.
I think maybe America is dummy guide. We call it Idiot's Guide here, you know. So, you know,
it's a dummy here.
You know, so package something made easy or a combination product, you know, and then you have yourself a new product. You know, same with, you know, yam powder for pounded yam, for example. You know, tea. Before, you need to have tea or coffee, and then you have sugar, have milk. You know, all were separate products. And what happened? Companies started combining them. Now everything is in one sachet. All you need is water. So your milk, your sugar, everything is combined with your coffee. So that's a combination product. So combination product. So combination product is a new way to create a new niche in the market. So you need to ask yourself, what can I offer that combines some things or services or products that exist separately at the moment? You know, so, and that can give you a completely new, product or service.
Dr. Omole,
yes.
Because of time, but when you give examples, you tend to give examples of products, and those are kind of easy to combine these products and that. As you go on, maybe you can also give example of services, because some people are not into products, they're into services. And how do you do those combinations, and how do you do those things? Just as you move on, please just be mindful of giving those examples too. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, I mean, for example, in terms of this combination product, if I want to give you the service example now, it's one of the things I advise people. For example, you are into interior decoration. That's your business. But then there are all kinds of services that wraps around interior decoration. Because if you go to the place, what's it called? Your client may need plumbers, may need carpenters, may need people, tilers, may need so many things. Now, even if you don't offer those services yourself, what you do is you create an alliance with those that offer those services, so that you agree your referral rate, so to speak. Because your client will rather deal with you as a super contractor, knowing I'm dealing with just one person,
Correct,
than dealing with 6 different people, and then their work is not coordinated. So by saying, look, we are an interior firm, but we offer all these other services too. You are creating a combination service. Therefore, you can leverage the skill or contact of all those other people to do all those things, because those are services and needs that are created or that you come across when in the course of doing your own interior business.
good
So,
example.
whereas if you don't do the combination product, you are losing all those business to other people. So that's a good example. That's number 4. Number 5.
Yeah,
People
right.
generate business idea. Hard speed of delivery. Hard speed of delivery to basic product or service and offer to people. Hard speed of delivery to basic product or service and offer to the people. You see, the world has increasingly grown impatient from the days of our parents.
Mhm.
We now have microwave. Everything has to be done instant tea, instant coffee. You see, people are now prepared. A lot of people are prepared to and willing to pay for speed. So this is how, because of time, I don't want to go into how DHL and all this courier started. That's how they started. Because something that you pay $1 for, it will take 3 weeks to get to the US. Now you pay $50, it gets there in 5 days. People are willing to pay that $50 to get there quicker. In fact, back, all over London, in Lagos, even in Lagos, in most countries, you now even have hourly service where couriers on motorbikes will collect your letter and deliver within the hour. So that, but you pay extra for that. Now, the 50 cents you pay for stamp, so pay it at the US Post, that may get there 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, if it gets there at all. Now you pay 10 times that to get that within the hour. People are happy to pay for that. So you need to ask yourself, what can you add speed of delivery to? This is a model of Deliveroo, companies like Deliveroo and Uber Eats, for example. That's what they're offering. Uber Eats doesn't own a single kitchen. All they're simply doing is allowing you, the restaurateur, to get your food to customers very speedily.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to invest in that infrastructure. So adding speed to service. So of course you have to pay Uber. So if your food is $10, it now becomes $12.50 if you add Uber fee to it, or Uber Eats food to it, fees to it. But people are happy to pay the difference to save them going out to the restaurant to buy the food themselves. So you have to ask yourself, what can you add speed of delivery to and offer as a service? Look at services or product that already exist. See if you can add speed of delivery to add the value to it, and people will be willing to pay for it. That's number 5. Number 6, quickly. Use design or packaging to enhance a basic appliance or product. Use design or packaging to enhance a basic appliance or product.
Wait, isn't that number 3?
No.
How is it different from number 3?
I will explain that in a moment.
Okay.
Yes. Number 3 is how to remove packaging to existing product. But this one is about using, this is number 5. No, number 6, sorry. It's about using design or package to enhance. Let me give you a very good example of it. I went with a friend of mine to a restaurant a few years back, and we asked for a bottle of water. It was, and when we looked at the bill, the water was $10. Bottle of water. So I asked myself, I said, what is going on here? I said, $10 for water? Now, so anyway, my wife now said, look at the bottle. So I asked the server, I said, can we take the empty bottle with us? She said, oh, yeah, most people do. Then an idea came to my wife. She said, look, this bottle looks like a flower vase. When I did some research, and I found that that was the exact reason behind the design of the water bottle. It was designed like a flower vase. So the whole idea of that design was that when you finish drinking your water, you don't throw the bottle away.
Mm.
So you have used this packaging now to enhance the product. So it's not just putting any packaging. Packaging is now an intrinsic added value.
Absolutely, I get
to
it.
the product. Exactly. So, and people pay premium for that. People pay premium for that. So it's important. And when you are dealing with using packaging like this, you need to be aware that there are some products in economics called giffen goods. Giffen goods. I mean, by the way, before I explain giffen goods, another very good example of using packaging to enhance is when children sneakers that can cost $10. Then they have these ones that as the children walks, light comes on under the sneaker. That one suddenly triple the price of the same sneaker. Mm-hmm. It's the same shoe, but because of that light that comes on, they triple the price, and people buy it. So you can use packaging, not just you can use packaging as a major addition to the product. Is my point.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
I like that.
Now, giffen goods are a normal law of economics says the higher the price, the lower the demand. That's a normal law of economics. As price rises, demand decreases, and vice versa. But giffen goods, Giffen, that's the spelling, giffen goods, they don't obey the normal law of economics. Because giffen goods are goods that the higher the price, the higher the demand. So the lower the price, the lower the demand, which is not the normal law of economics. Now, this is why a lot of people get uncomfortable and they don't understand how these things work. Giffen goods, a very good example of the giffen goods is diamonds. If I come to you and I say, I want to sell you a diamond for $20, will you buy it?
You would think you so say it's fake.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Because your value proposition is linked to the price of the product. So that's a very good example. You look at fashion shows. This fashion, when they have fashion shows and and there's a design, and some of these designs, some of the celebrities buy the design for $100,000, $50,000, $80,000. And I'm asking myself why? Until somebody told me that there's exclusivity, that once they design and you buy that, they don't do two of it. So you as the celebrity know you can go to that party, know that nobody will be wearing what you are wearing. So that's what you are paying for. It's vanity, but that's what you're paying for. So such product or services are not cheap. So you can use packaging to create a giffen good, is my point. That becomes exclusive for people to pay for. I'm not sure whether if anybody, the name doesn't come to me nice. It sounds very, just Google the most expensive champagne or wine in the world. You will see that some of these bottles are, $20,000, $30,000. In fact, one of the bottles somebody showed me once, the bottle the top of it have diamonds crusted on it. So you are buying a bottle of wine or champagne for $100,000. Of course, you are not buying the liquid.
Okay.
You are buying the whole package. So the point
doctor,
people can use, yes.
Doctor. Okay, so these examples are good, but can you give us an example of a normal, regular service or product that's enhanced? You don't have to give it to me now. You can think of it later. That's enhanced because diamonds and all of those things.
I've already given you that. I gave you, for example, the children sneakers, for example. I gave you that example.
Okay, how about a service?
Well, I'll have to think about that.
Okay, think about that.
I mean, service. I remember, talking to One of my girls the other day, she has a particular kind of business, and I said, you need to launch an exclusive range, which is putting together now. And the same thing that probably will cost $200 will cost $2,000 under that exclusive range. And what does that mean? It means, it's like she's into confectionery. So let's say you want to make a cake, and anybody can go online and look at the cake, and say, okay, I'm buying that cake for $50 and whatever. But you want to have an event, so you go and visit the client. You have a questionnaire. You ask them, okay, what's their favorite color? What sort of things? You're offering a whole package.
Yeah.
Okay, what color are you wearing that day? And all that. And now you design your cake to take on all those things. Of course, that cake is not going to be $50 you see online. You're offering a bespoke service.
Absolutely.
So that's an example that usually comes to mind. Of how you can enhance something. I mean, cake is cake. I mean, but if you add extras around it, you can make it a gift goods. Good. Number 7. How much time do I have till the end till the hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
Number 7, use design to offer product that relieves stress.
I like that.
Use design to offer product that relieve stress. Look, even before COVID, we live in a stressful world. Everybody is stressed. One way or the other, So use design to offer product that relieve or service that relieve stress. That is why massage products, for example, sell very well. If you have ever been stressed, ask yourself, what product or service could have offered me relief for that stress? You may be onto something new. So, I mean, there's nothing that immediately comes to mind here. Otherwise, how we have that business idea, but use design to offer product or service that, what's it called? That relieves stress, that makes things easy.
A spa is an example.
Yes.
There's a spa, some counseling sessions, all those kind of things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think another example that probably comes to mind, which again different here, is normally you go to the market to buy if you want to make salad, for example, you go to the market and buy your own vegetables, and you cut them and all that. But now there are products that all the vegetables are already chopped for you.
Yes, in one package.
Exactly, in one package.
Yeah.
That's relieving stress.
Yeah.
So you don't have to come and start chopping things and all that. You just pour it into the plate, bam, 2 minutes, you're done. So what can you do in that form is a question. What can you offer that relieves stress? Number 8.
Yes, you're 8.
Yeah. Generalize a hoarded or scarce technology or idea or product. Let me say that again. Generalize. How do you generalize a specialized or scarce technology? How, help bring obscure product or service to the mainstream and make money in the process. There are lots of products out there today that are offshoots of, for example, NASA Eden experiments. A lot of things that are Teflon, for example, is a product that came out of NASA. A few people knew about that. It became democratized. A lot more people. There are products and services. I mean, you live in You live in California, for example, but before you move to California, you are living in Germany. Your German is perfect. Ask yourself, how many people in California can speak German? Suddenly you realize that there are people that will pay for your service to teach them German. It's a simple idea. It's a simple product you have. It's a scarce skill or scarce idea that you are now generalizing. A lot of us have ideas. I mean, I know people here in London that pay different people to come and teach their children Nigerian languages. For example, those who want their children to be able to speak Nigerian languages, they will pay.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, that is something you did as a Nigerian. That's something you did not even pay to learn. You just got it growing up in Nigeria. Suddenly, you're monetizing it here.
Mm.
So there are ideas in terms of product and services that are scarce and peculiar and niche, that if you take it to mainstream, can make can make money out of it. Part of a way a lot of people made money in many African countries, for example, is to constantly check products in China that are not yet well known in their country. And they sign deals. I know many of my proteges have signed deals with manufacturers of certain products to say, okay, they'll be their unique representative in their native country. So they'll sign that exclusivity agreement, and suddenly, they start selling those products. I mean, there's so many of those products like that. I mean, there are, for example, there are mobile phone chargers that work purely based on solar. It's not really a new product in the West, but in a place like Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya, this product will sell. Because so you just go to the manufacturer and say, look, I want to be your exclusive distributor in, say, Kenya, for example. And most of these products don't exist outside the little countries in China, whatever it is, where they were sort of discovered or founded. So once you get that deal in the pocket and you start importing it, before you know it, you are generalizing a scarce product or unique or your niche product. Suddenly you are bringing it to the mainstream. So same thing with services. Nothing comes to mind immediately in the area of services, but there are services that are unique. For example, look at services that celebrities pay for. How can you offer a cheaper version of those services to everybody else? For example, that could be a way of of creating new market for your service. So it's very, very very important. I mean, one of the ways that service-wise, one thing that came to mind, because I remember talking to a lady about it recently, was one of the services celebrities use is they use what they call buyers. Many of these celebrities, they don't buy anything themselves. They have these specialists, either their clothing, either fashion buyers or whatever. A lot of things are bought on their behalf, so to speak. So the buyers will bring them samples and all that, and some of them, for privacy reasons, they don't actually go to shops themselves. And of course, they pay heavily for that. Now, I met somebody who started offering that service to everybody, but at a much lower markup. Especially look at this COVID now, where lots of people don't want to go out. I met somebody who was offering the service. He would leave your shopping in front of your door, ring your bell, and of course social distancing, and go. So it's safe for those who are self-isolating, for example, who can go out. So that he was offering that service for a small fee.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways you could bring mainstream scarce technology. Okay, that's number 8.
Number 9. Yeah, you're number 9 now.
Yes. Number 9, it might confuse you with the previous one I said, but I will explain the difference. Offer better value by combining attributes, or offer better value to a product that's already combined. Let me explain that. A lot of people have mobile phones. Like I said, mobile phone is a combination product that has so many services. For example, I know somebody personally who now train people on how to take the best pictures with your mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you see some of the pictures, you'll be shocked that it was a mobile phone that took those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So that's somebody who is taking who is giving an additional service attribute to a combination product. Okay. So it's not creating a combination product as the previous one, but it's now looking at, because when you have combination product, what tends to happen is that some of the functions are less used than others. So this person came out with the idea of how, okay, you can take the camera function of the mobile phone and turn it into a new market for himself. You know, how do you take professional looking photographs with your mobile phone? That's what he offers. So it trains you over a 6-week period. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end, the kind of pictures you yourself, you'll be amazed at the pictures you take with your mobile phone. So that's another way of generating business idea. Number 10, quickly, which is this is a simple one: look for a need and fill it.
Yeah. If
there's a need, there's a market. Be observant and see needs that need filling. You know, if look for a need and fill it. I mean, this example might not, people who live in who are Westerners might not understand this example, but this is the one that immediately jumped to me for this idea of looking for a need, you know, and filling it. I went for a friend of mine's the father's funeral many years ago, in Nigeria, and after sitting in the reception for about, I don't know, an hour, this young chap came to me and said, "Sir, give me an envelope." I said, "What is this?" I opened it. This guy took my picture as I was coming into the reception ground. And apparently there are many of them at reception ground. They will take your picture and they have their printers there and then. Then they'll print the picture. And I looked at the picture. I liked it. So I paid for the picture. Now, I didn't come to the reception to buy a picture. But now, these chaps see a need and they are feeling it. Now, for those who are Nigerians or who have culture like Nigerians, we understand this better. You know, for so many of those social occasions, they take uniform. You know, but many times, most people buy those uniforms purely out of courtesy to the person doing the party. But in most cases, once you wear that uniform once, most people will not wear it again, because for the next person's party, they will have their own uniform to sell. It's like Ashwebi, exactly. Yeah. I call it uniform. you know. So the next party we have it. So that picture those people are taking of you there, and there might be the only picture you will ever have of you in that particular attire. So before you know it, they saw a need and they filled it. Job done. So yes, the person doing the party will have his own official photographer, but that is going to be weeks later. That's going to be one album sent to him at his own house. We won't be able to see that. You know, so that's just an example that just came to mind of looking for a need. So as you go around every day, look for a need and fill it. You know, you can, you know, and this is important because sometimes the need that you see, only you can see. Don't assume everybody else sees it.
Wow, that's good.
You know, because the mistake we make is, I'm not going to do that business. Everybody else will just doing that, will be doing it. No. You might be the only one that saw that thing. People might be walking past it day and night, and it might never occur to them. Because you need to understand that sight is not a function of our eyes. Sight is a function of our knowledge. If you see something with your eyes, but you don't know what it is, you've not seen it. So because other people are walking past it and looking at it with their two eyes, doesn't mean they've seen it. You know, but once the idea, knowledge comes to you, act on it, because you might be one of the few people that have identified that as a problem. That's number 10. Number 11, solve problems for people. Solve problems for people. Look into what problem you and people have. You see, for every problem you have, there are thousands that have the same problem. So whatever solution that worked for you, trust me, it will work for thousands of other people. So, you know, the mistake we make in terms of solving problems is that we assume, you know, many people assume that everybody needs to be interested in their product. I know companies that are making millions today based on just one big customer. I know people who are making money today because they are appealing to only 1% of the market. Don't make the mistake to assume that your product has to be popular for you to make money from it. Your product could be so bespoke and esoteric that only 500 people in California buys it, but that's enough for you to live on. So don't get it wrong, thinking, oh, this is not popular. Volume is important, and don't use yourself to necessarily determine the success of a business. So because you don't like something doesn't mean that others won't like it. But a very good example I give is that the man is now dead. At some point in the 80s, the biggest importer of pork to Nigeria was a big Muslim man. I won't mention his name. That's important for those who understand what I'm saying, because Muslims don't eat pigs. They don't eat pork. And I remember meeting the man one time.
Okay.
They are not supposed to. They don't eat it. But he understood. He said, he looked at me one day, he said, look, he said, half of Nigeria he said, at least half of Nigeria are non-Muslims. He said, those are my market. Now, if he looked at that product from his own consumption point of view, he will never go into that business. But he understood that there's market out there, even though he might not be eating it. So it's important that you don't use yourself, otherwise as a barometer, so to speak, to whether something will work or not. Quickly, the last one. Bring out inspirational and creative products. Bring out inspirational and creative products. And this particularly actually is also speaking to you, Dr. Merino. Bring out inspirational and creative products. You see, if you have ideas that can inspire other people, there's a lot of depressed people out there. If you have ideas, product, services that can, inspire people, motivate them, produce CDs and DVDs that will inspire people, write books, teachers, inspirational speakers, they're all in this field, inspire people, bring out inspirational and creative products, inspire people, that would, self-help books, self-help materials, all those things fall into this category. Things that will help people, to be better version of themselves. Any product you have in that area, we always sell, or service you have there, we always sell. So because of our time, I think my time is up. In terms of this, so these are 12 ways to generate business ideas. I hope you got one.
We should always book you for 2 hours. This hour is not going to work because it doesn't cut it at all. Oh my gosh! So you have given us great ideas on how to, and I think every single person here can find themselves in one or two of these 12 steps that you've generated for us, right? However, there's a question that says, can you please talk to us about execution? What do you do to ensure that your strategy plans become reality? So that then would be, I don't know if you can answer that in 2-3 minutes, but I'm thinking that's a different show by itself. But go ahead and answer it.
No, you're absolutely right. That's a different show entirely. But what I would say about that is, remember when I started, I said there are 7 questions you need to answer. If you answer the why, the second question I say is the why. If you answer the why very well, it will be easy for you to execute. You see, because doing a business that is not your passion is difficult. If the why is answered very well, and you wrap your passion around the why, you will always succeed in that business because you will not give up when others are giving up. If your why is simply because, oh, I know Dr. Merino, she makes money selling rice. Since she's making money, let me too go and start doing selling rice. If that's the reason, if that's your why, you will give up very quickly when you encounter difficulty. But if that service or that product is your passion, you've answered the why very well, then that your why becomes part of your USP, your unique selling point. So, but, there are so many things we can say around execution, but I think that's sufficient as a quick rebuttal.
Okay, so, but you said something that I've had other people say the exact opposite of it. You said that if it's your passion, you wouldn't give up. And I've heard other business, strategists say your business doesn't have to be your passion, because when it's your passion, you're too attached to it anyway. And so what do you feel about that? That I can do a business and be successful and it's not my passion, it's because there's a need.
That's absolutely correct. Yes, I mean, the point here is there is no business, either product or service, that universally everybody that goes into it make money. There's no such business. For every business or service out there, there are people going into it, make money, there are people going into it and lose money. So what makes you the ones that go in there and make money? For me personally, I found out that while being your passion is not a prerequisite, it helps if what you are doing is your passion.
Okay.
Because your passion helps your creativity.
Absolutely.
If you're just doing it purely because it's bringing in money, yes, you will do it. But if it's your passion, you look at different angles, different dimensions, different ways to get the same thing. You know, you are into it. And more importantly, as disappointment comes to everybody in life, giving up will be difficult because it's your passion.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have 2 minutes for us? You have 2 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I also have another meeting after this, but there's a last question I want to ask that been asked. It says, how does one start a business in a new environment?
Well, now that's an excellent question. I mean, again, starting a business in a new environment, the first thing you have to admit, you have to recognize that you mustn't start a business bringing the mentality of where you are coming from.
Ooh,
because
that's good.
Because the rules are different, the laws are different, the customers are different, and so it's bad business to bring the mentality. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, once if you answer those 7 questions of why, including the why that I explained earlier, is okay, how does it work in this environment? So you've got to, number one, know your environment. That's the first thing you must do. Have sufficient knowledge of your environment before you start a business. Don't just dabble into it because, oh, you came from Nigeria, you moved to California, and then you say, okay, I want to start a business in California, fine. But in Nigeria, you must start a business in 5, from your house. But in California, you might need to register 10, get 10 certification from local county. You might need to attend some courses. You might need to do so many things before you can start that business. So you need to understand your environment. That's the first thing, And number 2, be willing to change. You must be willing to adapt, to your new market. You must always dress for where you're going, not where you're coming from. So you must be able to adapt to your new environment. So do things the way it's done where you are, in a way that command value for them. There's so many other things we can say, but because of time,
Thank you.
Start with those 2.
Thank you so much for spending this hour with us. I was so now this. If you need to talk to Dr. Omole, you can. Is on Twitter, is on Instagram, is everywhere. Correct? And
yes.
Just type Dr. Charles Omole, and
Dr.
I just
Omole,
appreciate.
yes.
What did you say?
It's Dr. C. Omole. That's my handle. Yes.
Okay, so Dr. C. Omole, and thank you so much. It has been great. And next time we have to talk about strategies. So you're coming back again. Okay. All right. I appreciate you so much. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bro Charles, good seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.